Welcome to Morning Infusion with Dr. V. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have no insurance and be wary of the care that you will receive? Well, my name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I'm the owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to teach nurses how to work from their computers anywhere around the world, making money and owning their own time. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals and to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders who have overcome so that you know that the possibilities are endless. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment if you were ever told that you would not succeed. And remember to click the calendar link above if you want to create another stream of income and enroll in our 12-week course, VP Nursing Business Academy. Our special guest today is Shane Grindle. So Shane is an advanced practice registered nurse that obtained his BSN from Jacksonville University and his FNP from Simon's University in Boston. He is a professor at Jersey College in the RN program. Shane states that he was impoverished growing up and did not want to be a statistic. He took the leap of faith and opened a clinic in response to COVID-19, making healthcare affordable to people who have lost so much. So thank you, Shane, for showing up this morning.
Running behind, it's both mornings, right?
Shane said that there was somebody who had an accident on the freeway. Is that right?
Like the car was literally on fire. Like
Wow.
Sorry again. So
that's
odd morning.
So now, what was your primary reasoning for becoming a nurse?
Well, I mean, being an active duty sailor itself, you get out of the military and you kind of figure out what's next, what's your next step. You know, you don't really get prepared when you get out of the military for what's next, and so it just made logical sense that being military, helping at the highest level, you can kind of help lower as a nurse to help and impact more people. So that was my thing, and it's a great career. I mean, you get to help people. It's respected. You know, we're the most respected profession 20 years in a row. Like, that's crazy.
That is crazy. So now, how long were you in the military?
4 years. I did one tour.
Okay, gotcha. Now, when we first talked, you talked about imposter syndrome.
Yes.
So what is imposter syndrome?
It's real. It's when you think that you are not who you think you are, or who you portray to be. You think you're faking it, but really it transcends all professions. Even our MD colleagues have the same feeling, and it just takes time for you to get that confidence. And you really are great. Like, all ARNPs are the top nurses in the profession, so give yourself more credit. I need to start doing that too. It's hard though. It's really hard.
Yeah, I remember going into the nursing profession, and it took me about 10 years in order to be super comfortable. You know, it took me a long time to get really, really comfortable in the profession and know that I knew what I was doing, right? And that's hard because, you know, when you're taking care of patients, you want to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do, right? Because
exactly. And then nurses, we care, so we take it deep. We take it we take it real hard. I think we're the most likely to experience it. But it's the culture too of nurses. So
that's right. Now, do you think that nurses can fall prey to suffering from imposter syndrome? I know that I did. And then if so,
nurses, nurse practitioners, PAs, MDs, dentists, any person in the medical field can fall prey to it. It's no one escapes it, right? It's one of those things, especially when you're starting out learning. And once you learn, you feel confident, but then you fall back and think, man, I didn't even know that. And
so now I want you to tell me a story about imposter syndrome. I'm gonna tell you a story that I have about imposter syndrome. So I remember my first code, and I walked in, and you have the the defibrillator, and you're getting ready and I was like, do I really know how to use this thing?
Yeah. Have you seen that Baby Yoda meme where like the Baby Yoda holds the tape up and he's like, you know, you're trying to start the IV, someone starts the IV for you and you couldn't do it, and you're like, tapey, go, I can help. Like that's me. I have the tape. I have the tape. You need tape? I got it.
That's right.
No, that's it's the truth. I mean, truly, I mean, coming out of ARNP school, seeing your first patient, you know, you get very little to no training, you know, when you're coming out of being an ARNP. So you just got to kind of rely on your skills heavy. And then you walk into the room and you say, "Hi, my name is Shane Grindle. I'm the nurse practitioner. I'll be taking care of you today." So then it starts to feel real. It's like, so what does that really mean? And what, you know, so for me, I had to, and it's okay to call the patient back if you miss something. That's totally fine, and say, hey, I thought about this. I put this lab in. You know, that's what I did is I forgot to put in some labs, and I just said, hey, I'm sorry. I'll put this back in for you. No worries. And they're very, very accommodating, very kind. So patients are very understanding. They're very
Yeah. Especially when you tell them the truth. I mean,
tell them
you
the
know,
truth.
at the end of the day, we all make mistakes, right? And obviously, we don't want to make those. You know, there's certain mistakes that obviously that we don't want to make. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is a profession just like anything else, and we're all people, and we make mistakes, and we have to realize those mistakes can be made for
Own up to
sure.
it, and then own up to it. Don't hide it. You know, just be honest about it and say, hey, here's how I'm gonna do moving forward. Here's what I'm gonna do. Right? It's just, and luckily it was minor, and most things are typically minor. But you know, just keep them in the loop and tell them, hey, you know, that's what happened. All right.
And I think that the bridge between RN, not that I'm an APRN,
Mhm.
right? But I think the bridge between RN and APRN is probably a huge bridge,
Man,
right?
curve is steep. It is steep. It is a very steep curve, and there's no easy way to soften that blow. It is such a steep curve. I'm still like learning and adapting, and it takes your nursing critical thinking and expands it 20 times. Like,
So now how is it that you were able to get past that? Like how are you able to get past the imposter syndrome or the feeling that you feel like sometimes that you don't have it all? How do you get past that?
um, well, I kind of look at the facts,
Okay.
and that there being an APRN, you are the top 5% of all the nurses, right? You know, that's one of the things I keep forgetting. I'm just Shane, the nurse practitioner, right? And you know, and that's kind of who I am. But at the end is that you are here for a reason, right?
Mhm.
You are here because you've done something well, and you're here because you know they respect you enough to allow you in to the APRN program and think that you will make a good APRN because they screen and scan all the nurses, right? Look at your CV, your background. So that really helps me sometimes, and also to learn, be a sponge. Like I'm like a nerd even at baseline, so it's great. So it's I just go look at random stuff on the internet about COVID or something that kind of intrigues me. So if you're learning, you're growing, and with learning, you know, it's fantastic.
I
So
love it. I love it.
it's
I
fun.
love it. Because it can be a struggle for sure. Um, so what are some of the key strategies that you think nurses can utilize so that like imposter syndrome and things of that nature don't become a part of their lives ongoing?
Right, and it kind of harkens back to what I said about being a sponge, right? Learning, don't get stagnant. Some nurses get confident, some APRNs get stagnant, and so you should learn and be a sponge and grow and take the profession seriously, be active and engaged, and that builds confidence. Knowledge builds confidence, I think.
Now, do you have a mentor?
I do have a mentor. He was my mentor even as an RN student. So I followed him in the ICU at Mayo, and then he's like, "Yeah, come on over here and follow me over to the clinic." And so we did that together. So he and I, you know, I still run questions by him, and then I
Gotcha.
have one here at the clinic. So it's important to find someone that has done it before and you respect to kind of talk to them. It's important.
Gotcha. Now, you wrote a book. What is the name of the book, and what was the primary reason that you decided to write the book?
Yeah, it's called the Nurse Practitioner's First Year Guidebook. What it is, it's a guidebook, right? So it's to kind of ease you in through the first year, but it's through the lens of a male nurse practitioner because it's different, right?
Right.
It's a little bit different for us than say a female RN or things of that nature, and it's just my perspective and things that I wish I had known, things that helped me through, things that that could be very helpful to the nurse practitioner or even RN. So it's a great thing.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that I never really thought about the difference in how nurses, um, how the nursing profession is largely female, right? Until,
It's
I worked, alongside, a few males. And then I was like, okay, there's a different space because, the males would not feel as comfortable going, like we feel comfortable going into rooms with, males to do whatever procedures that we need to do, right? We close the
it's
door, we get what we need to get done. Sometimes males don't feel as comfortable going into the rooms with females,
definitely.
and so it's different.
You can get accused of sexual harassment. I mean, it's just a thing. I've seen a male at my old hospital that got accused, and we all know that he didn't do it. So it's just one of those things that you're kind of anxious about and leery about. You're like, it's just the culture nowadays. It's you know,
Wow,
gotta
wow.
be
I hate that, because it really should not be that way. Now, advanced practice nurses recently gained full authority in your state. Yay. Now, can you explain what this means and why this is so important?
Yeah, it takes away a barrier so that nurse practitioners can practice independently. You don't need to have someone or pay someone, in my case, to sign off charts that don't do anything, right? And that I collaborate anyway. I don't need someone mandating to tell me that I need to collaborate with someone and then pay them to do so. I've got mentors that do it for free. So that's a fantastic thing. And that, once you meet the criteria for 3,000 hours, you do your CMEs, you are now autonomous. You don't need to have any MD signing off on your orders. You can open up your primary care clinic and be fine. And so it's just that one less barrier for us to go through so that we can kind of practice to our fullest extent of our license. It's very
Do
important.
you do you know how many states have full practice authority?
Roughly 24, roughly 24.
I think you guys are the 24th because I
Yep.
remember reading that was 23. So you're in Florida, correct?
Yeah, we just got it in July, this past July.
Gotcha. And we're in North Carolina and we don't have it. And that's one of the things that the SAVE Act, which we wanted to implement through the American Nurses Association, we wanted to give nurse practitioners full practice authority because the reality is that, I mean, like you said, we need to have full practice authority, or you guys need to have full practice authority.
Yeah.
Mine is in leadership. So
No one's no one's getting in your way. We let leaders be leaders, right? But we don't
right.
let providers be providers. So
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Now, you opened your own clinic. What's the name of the clinic?
integrated medical group.
Integrated Medical Group. Now, do you charge insurance?
No, insurance is not
No,
no
no. Tell me why.
not needed because we do it with the DPC route. Is that there's a monthly fee involved. It covers full access as low as $69 a month, so it's fantastic.
Gotcha.
So no insurance, no copays, no deductibles, no surprises. We're saving people money on labs. It's just a great thing. I mean, people can't afford insurance. COVID's wiped them out. They don't have any job in any health insurance. But I'm kind of here to say, like, there's
Yeah.
there's another way. I've I've created my clinic to help create that other way and to save money and to help people without insurance. Or if you just don't like your healthcare provider now, we don't rush anybody. My panel is small, 500 maximum, and so I get to spend time with everybody. It's great.
Yeah, because I go to a physician who does that very same thing, and so we pay. I pay my husband's military, but
Yeah.
I pay a certain amount every month, and I go to him. And when I go into his office, and this is value for me, okay? Because I know that time is the only constant, right? Everything else is going to change, right? Time is the only constant, and the reality is that when I go into his office and I sit in his office, I sit there for maybe 5 seconds, and then he's up, and then I'm back there talking to him, and literally it takes him 30 minutes, and he didn't even have to take that long of a time with me, but he 30 minutes, and then I'm out, and
Minimum.
he gives me whatever
Minimum.
I want. We're good, and
Yep.
like you said, the X-rays are cheaper, the lab work is cheaper. I mean, if I went to through insurance to do lab work, I mean, it's pay $200. Like literally, it's $5 or $10. It's ridiculous.
$60 a year. $60 for a
It's
whole panel, full everything. TSH, A1C, CBC, CMP, urinalysis, all of that.
wow, that's
It's
crazy.
it's bucks.
That's right, and that's because you're taking out the middleman, right? And you're able to spend
Exactly.
time with your patients.
Because
I
how can I get anything done in 5 minutes? It's super hard. It's impossible to get like what I want done. So
and
within
that's the
that
reason
long time.
And that's the reason why a lot of practitioners are leaving, because I interviewed a urological surgeon the other day, and she said that that was the reason why she left practice, and now
Wow.
she's in real estate, and the reason why was because she said that it was like a rat race. She felt like she couldn't spend time with her patients, and and the patients feel like they're slighted, right? Because they're paying all this money, and
Exactly.
and so I was just like, okay. All right. I
It's not
love it.
fair.
It is
I mean,
not.
and it gets worse. Think about insurance red tape, right? Prior authorizations, right? Co-pays, deductibles. You're paying insurance, but you're still paying out of pocket. Well, why? Why? Why?
Exactly.
Why? I don't understand. Like you pay enough. So I'm like, let's just take those guys out. There are things that they're good for, but overall, most people that are mostly healthy can benefit fully from me.
I love
Fully.
it. I love it. Now, you have an online safe prescribing practice module. What was the reason for you developing this module?
Well, I think it also harkens back to the imposter syndrome, right?
Hmm.
We all think that um, there is no way to get a support and learn how to prescribe and be a good provider, and I want you to think no, and it's not just that. It's an effective prescribing. Like I always tell my students, it's like, what can you do one thing prior to leaving that room? So I take that to the medications and say, what medication can I give to do more than one thing at once, right? So you got a patient that has PSA and high blood pressure. You want to give a medication to treat them both, right? So
Uh,
it's effectiveness. So that way you reduce polypharmacy. Reducing polypharmacy is very important. So one drug that can do 3 or 4 or 5 things is great.
I
So
love it.
so it's effective and efficient. So.
I love it. Now, what is the book that has impacted you, and why was it so impactful?
I think as far as us as being nurses and being providers is that no one teaches us how to manage our finances, right? So it's very important that we are independent. And so I like the Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? That's a classic. I'm sure everyone's seen and read it. So it's just a classic. You just need to learn what your priorities are and what those are, and then work toward that, not the materialistic world, right? That we're kind of stuck in sometimes. Tough.
It's really funny because that book has, like, I asked that question several times, and that book has been recommended over and over and over and over. And really understanding that whole paradigm of finances, right? And understanding how to keep your money, how to save your money, how to invest in things that, 10 years down the road will make a difference, right? You don't want to invest in things that's not going to make a difference 10 years down the road. You know,
Or lose
um,
it, you
exactly.
gain money versus losing it. In that cars, you lose money, right?
Right.
So
Right. I love it. I love it. Now, where can the audience find you? You're in what town?
I'm in Jacksonville, Florida,
Ah,
a couple hours north of Orlando. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. We're in a nice little area, big medical community. I like it here.
good,
It's very
good,
good.
good. Well, thank you, Shane, and I hope your day goes better than this morning did. It was a little bit crazy this morning.
I know Wi-Fi is not being easy this morning either, huh?
So
Oof.
my name is
Yeah.
Dr. Viola Pierce. I'm the owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to teach nurses to leverage the knowledge that they already know, working from their computers around the world, making money and owning their own time. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders such as Shane that have overcome so that you know that the possibilities are endless. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment if you were ever told that you would not succeed. And remember to click the calendar link above if you want to enroll in our 12-week course, VP Nursing Business Academy. You guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. Thank you.